Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the FIFA Flow podcast. Today, guys, we are gonna be doing a quick, short podcast today, 20 to 30-minute podcast talking about Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern München, guys. What a game! I'm telling you, what a banger game we saw today. We saw there's a lot of criticism both on Paris Saint-Germain, especially Paris Saint-Germain, and then a bit of criticism on Bayern. I guess not criticism, but we can make some observations that we can predict for the next game, see what's going to go on. As a PSG fan, of course, you guys know I'm a hardcore PSG fan. Not just PSG, football, you can say in general. Of course, you already see PSG. Of course, ici c'est Paris. I'm wearing my PSG jersey. I have, yet how many PSG jerseys do I have? I have Mbappe, Messi. I have my own name. I have another one of these, the home jersey, but with my own name as well. And then I have this year's Verratti. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can technically you can say 5. I got like a PSG chain as well. Like, man, I'm like the biggest PSG fan in probably in America, in North America, you could say. But guys, yeah, as a PSG fan, as someone who analyzes football weekly. Of course, this is the point of the podcast. I analyze football. I just want to talk about the game and kind of like go against what people are saying. And what I mean, let's just get right into it. So, what I mean by that, guys, is PSG is one of the most, if not probably the world's most hated team, including probably I'd say Manchester City. I wouldn't say Liverpool is there or Chelsea. I think they're just something else, man. They're just in their own world. They're just finished. They're not over. They're not hated. They're just finished, man. They're just finished. So they're just being made fun of. Us, like Man City and us, Paris Saint-Germain, we are hated with passion by Real Madrid fans. You can say Ronaldo fans, any Ronaldo fans, any other French fans, like any like AS Monaco, Lens, Olympique Lyon, Marseille, especially. Of course, you already know the Le Classique. Real Madrid fans probably. Would I say probably not Barcelona, because I think a lot of our fans could be like Messi fans, Neymar type fans from Barcelona. So I think we have a huge fan base from Barcelona. But other than Barcelona and the French people themselves, and then of course other like PSG fans from around the world, like myself, everybody else hates us. Yeah, and as I said, Real Madrid fans. I think Real Madrid fans probably hate us the first most, and then probably Marseille fans, and then probably any other club in the world. So, and Ronaldo fans. I think Ronaldo fans also hate us. Anyone who's not a PSG fan hates us with a passion. We are probably their number one most hated club. And I just want to go out there and talk about I'm gonna talk about the game today. I also want to talk about why we are hated and kind of like disapprove. So let's talk about the game. Let's first talk about the game and what we did wrong, and then I want to talk about not why we're really hated, but I want to talk about the I guess the post-match social media effect of, oh, PSG are finished. Like, I see like a few of my friends from school, they're saying, oh, PSG, and the S is like a money sign. PSG, P money, SG are finished and stuff. Like, they're nothing without Mbappe. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of disagree with that. As a Paris Saint-Germain fan, I do not like seeing this. I mean, there's some side of me saying like where you can kind of agree, but that's just very, very little. That's like 1% of me. The other 99% is saying, nah, fam, this is rigged. Like, not rigged, but this is just, it's unfair because. So okay, let's get into the game, and then I'll kind of respond to social media, like what people are criticizing us for and stuff. So let's just talk about the game. Man, oh man, we had a disaster class. As you can see on screen, Bayern dominated us both in the first half, maybe in the first 10-20 minutes of the second half. But man, Bayern Munich, they actually dominated. They dominated hard. We ran the 4-4-2. You can kind of say we ran like a 3-back as well, as a Marquinhos Ramos would kind of go out wide-ish a bit more. Danilo Pereira would kind of drop back into that CDM central center back type role. He would kind of drop between defenders, and that would allow then a three midfield narrow setup with Warren Zaire-Emery, Marco Verratti, and Carlos Soler. And then, since they're narrow with Danilo Pereira dropping back, it then allows Nuno Mendes and Hakimi to go up, and then of course Lionel Messi and Neymar just being the two strikers. So you can essentially say something like a 3-5-2 essentially, with Nuno Mendes and Hakimi as your fullback uh, wide midfielders. Danilo Pereira kind of dropping back as that kind of drop between defender center back type thing, CDM, and then Warren Zaire-Emery, Marco Verratti, and Carlos Soler would kind of go a bit more in the middle of the pitch to allow Nuno Mendes and Hakimi to kind of counter attack on the wings. So yeah, I think let's talk about the team, how the tactic worked out. I think as a PSG fan, guys, you have to see, like, from my perspective, not just a football fan. If you're a United fan, you're gonna say PSG played bad, but from my perspective, as a PSG fan who watches Paris Saint-Germain every single week, maybe you can say day as well. Maybe not day, but like sometimes I watch highlights daily, like when I'm scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, or I rewatch highlights to analyze the game, what we done wrong. I see constantly on Twitter and Instagram Paris Saint-Germain news, because that's literally my whole feed. It's football news and mainly PSG news as well. So as a Paris Saint-Germain fan, I think the tactic worked out probably great. Yes, it didn't. It may have not seemed like it worked out great against Bayern because we literally got dominated. But I think as a PSG fan, from every game from the World Cup, from after the World Cup till now, I think this formation was honestly our best formation. Going back to that three back Galtier. I mean, where is it here? Where is it? Yeah, so Galtier has decided his formation depending on the opponent and players he has. It is clear that most of our players feel more comfortable when playing with three defenders. Nuno can express himself, more players in the midfield, and forcing the opponent to make mistakes. So I definitely agree with this from PSG Chief. And if we go back to the game, guys, that's exactly what I said. Pereira dropping back, and then we have the three midfield setup. It should be like more midfields, you can say. But we also have Nuno Mendes on the left mid type, more attacking player, as well as Hakimi. So they also become our midfielders. So as I said, a 3-5-2, kind of more compact in that midfield. And then, as I said, Nuno Mendes and Hakimi with that pace, with their creative ability to run down the wings, to counter attack on the wings, brilliant in this formation, in this tactical setup. So as a PSG fan, as I said, tactically, the formation, how the players were meant to play, I think this was one of our best games. But individually, as I said, tactically it was great. But now, how did that tactic actually perform against Bayern? And that's where we got dominated. Is we still need to improve. So let's just talk about it first half, guys. We absolutely got destroyed in the first half. I think they had like 57% possession against us, Bayern. I think they had 10 shots on goal, or 10 shots in total, and we only had one shot in that first half, and that was due to how low depth we had in our own box. Literally, most of that first half was in our own half. We could not get it out. And as I said, that was due to the amount of drop back we had. And it's not just the amount of drop back we had. Even when we did get the counterattack, or not counterattack, even if we were on like if we were going up on the pitch, like to score a goal, even if we were going up to score a goal on the attack, what was wrong here is our midfield, man, was so dropped back that it took years to counterattack, like to get on the attack, that instead Lionel Messi and Neymar would then drop back to become that new midfield, but now no one's in the attack. So it's like Lionel Messi and Neymar were coming back to defend. Now no one's in the attack. Who's supposed to score? And then it's just mainly, shots out the box. It's like we cannot. There's no one inside the box, and that was our problem. I think that was a main problem in the first half. Is too much drop back. The midfield, man. just man, they were non-existent, literally non-existent. Marco Verratti having a disaster class, man. He's falling on a ghost. He's falling. He's tripping on himself on the ball, man. There was a few occasions where he did do well to get the ball back. I guess to intercept the ball, to kind of to tackle it off of a player. Even Danilo Pereira, man, well done by Danilo Pereira. I feel like this. I feel like this month, the past few games, Danilo Pereira has really been showing himself. He's very underrated as well. I feel like just in all football. Sometimes I do kind of disrespect him, but I think honestly with the way that our team is playing now, that disrespect that I didn't really that game style that I didn't really like before is now becoming better than like, you get what I mean? It's like this was PSG before, and this was Danilo Pereira. But now the rest of PSG is down here, making Danilo Pereira look insane. Well, it's not just that. I think Danilo Pereira in general is probably getting better as well. Ramos, man, brilliant game. I think Ramos was honestly our best player today. Very, very sad that our center back is our best player. I mean, it's good that our center back is our best player because he's showing like, oh, defensively we're not going to concede many goals. But at the same time, it also shows that how we're supposed to create an attack. If our defense are doing better than our attack, it means we can't even score to win in the first place. You get what I mean? So yeah, Ramos and Danilo Pereira, the beasts today. Marquinhos, honestly, as a PSG fan, yet again, guys, I'm gonna say it. Marquinhos, honestly, I think he did better than usual. He did better than usual as a PSG fan. Still, he's not like a Militao. He's not like a Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo. But Marquinhos, I think today he really showed the passion. Not the. I guess he showed more than he usually does in League 1 games. You get what I mean? So Ramos, Danilo Pereira, my top two number one first places on our team, and then I'd have to say Marquinhos. Nuno Mendes, man, in the second half popped off. But let's continue talking about the first half. So yeah, that is PSG. As I said, Neymar, Lionel Messi dropping back so much that we have no attack, literally. And the reason it dropped back so much is because our midfield was also non-existent. As I said, Marco Verratti, disaster class, tripping on himself. Warren Zaire-Emery now becoming, oh no, I don't have it, but he's now the youngest player to ever play in Champions League at 16 years old, and his first Champions League game against Bayern Munich. That is a pretty sad thing to, like, that's pretty, I guess that the pressure that he must feel is pretty sad. And honestly, Warren Zaire-Emery, he wasn't bad for, as I said, he's not, for a 16-year-old against Bayern Munich, your first UCL game, the pressure at that young age with not much experience, I think is a lot to handle. And some moments he was decent, but I think for the most part, man, I think like it was just terrible. I rather would have had Fabian Ruiz, even though Fabian Ruiz is not the best as well. Like, there's definitely other great midfielders out there, but I think he would have been better than Warren Zaire-Emery. Where was I? Yeah, Warren Zaire-Emery, man. Like, Lionel Messi, like, he's going down the wing. Messi passes it to him. He just doesn't get the touch, or he doesn't control it well. He loses the ball. Same with Carlos Soler, man. He's just too slow, man. Carlos Soler, man. Like, you're just walking too slow. As I said, Marco Verratti tripping on himself, tripping on the ball on the grass. And then, yeah, Lionel Messi and Neymar dropping back so much because of the three explanations I just mentioned about our midfield, these three midfielders. It makes the midfield non-existent. Therefore, Messi and Neymar had to drop back into the midfield to help not only defend, but to create chances in attack. But then no one's in the attack because Messi and Neymar were initially our attack, but our midfield is non-existent. So then they drop back, leaving us with no attack. So there's no point. Neymar, man, I thought we would have a Ney day today, man. I mean, you've seen in the past the Neymar, the samba, the masterclass that Neymar usually has against Bayern. It just wasn't there today. And I think I'm not gonna hate on Neymar. I think what I will say about Neymar is he does a bit too much sometimes, a bit too much. Like he's just running into players, and I think a huge reason why Neymar also didn't do good today, man. Benjamin Pavard, what a player Benjamin Pavard was today, guys. This whole three back line here, I think Upamecano and De Ligt also were really, really good. But mainly Benjamin Pavard stopping Neymar on that right side physically and everything. You already know Neymar's not that much of a physical player, so Benjamin Pavard crazy. And now with that red card he received towards the end of the game, this could be huge, and I think Bayern could really kind of slack in the defense. I'm really like excited to see, like I'm really like intrigued to see like what are Bayern gonna run in the next game, and we'll talk about some predictions afterwards. So yeah, PSG, that is PSG in the first half. Bayern in the first half, as I said, dominated us in possession, in shots, in our half, man. Like most of the half, like if not the whole half, was in our own side, in our own half of the pitch. So very, very disgusting there. As I said, with our non-existent midfield, man, Kimmich and Goretzka, man. These two midfielders, especially Joshua Kimmich, such, would I say underrated, because I feel like lately people have not been rating him as much as usual. I feel like if you compare him to Casemiro, I guarantee nowadays people are gonna say Casemiro clear, but I feel like that is because of how underrated Joshua Kimmich was. This guy was a beast today, dominated in the midfield, defensively, going up in the attack. He had some pretty good shots, even to create. Like he goes up, passes it wide to Sane or Musiala, and they create some good chances against us. Choupo-Moting was pretty decent as well. He got some very good shots in the early part of the game. Even in the second half, he had a very, very good, very close chance as well. But where was I? Where was I gonna say? Yeah, the back line, Jan Sommer as well, man. Jan freaking Sommer. I was like, oh no. In the January transfer window, I was like, oh no, they got Jan Sommer because no, if you guys don't know, Neuer was screwed. Not screwed. What am I saying? He was injured. So then Bayern were screwed over for not having a backup goalkeeper. They went and got Jan Sommer from Mönchengladbach, and then yeah, he actually smoked it today. I was very surprised. I mean, and I mentioned this before. You already know Mbappe and Jan Sommer, the history back in 2021. Mbappe missing that penalty. And yeah, man, Jan Sommer. If they did not have gotten Jan Sommer, I guarantee, even with PSG doing this bad, we would have won. Even with us doing this bad. But since Jan Sommer helped out a lot, it's the back line. João Cancelo, man, what a player he is. Just on that wing, always, like I rarely saw him come back into his own right back position and defend. He was always just, he was so high up in the pitch, and that was also we were very vulnerable to that as well. He did very good. His dribbling on the ball and you already know João Cancelo on that wing, and known for his crossing into the box, his pinging into the box. Just, you already know his specialty. So very dangerous there. Coleman, man, with the passion, I swear. This guy in the France World Cup final, after he dropped back, took the ball from Lionel Messi, went back up in the attack, and then that's where Mbappe got his second goal in the World Cup final against Argentina last December. And even today, man, what he created on that wing, his ability to get into the box, his dribbling, brilliance by Coleman. I feel like the passion that he has overall, as I said, Jan Sommer, what a backup Bayern got. Like they got him. I think, like, even if they paid 50 million for him, that was worth it because of what he did today to save Bayern Munich. As I said, the backline just killed our attack. I mean, did we really have an attack? Because our attack always dropped back due to us not having a non-existent midfield. As I said, Joshua Kimmich, Goretzka dominating in the midfield. João Cancelo, Coleman they were open on the wings. Like they were like up high. And as I said, all of this like pressure or like high depth that Bayern had was due to us playing so defensive in the first half, especially. Very, very unfortunate. And then in the second half, yet again, as I said, we're playing so drop back. It's who was it? Yeah, Davies, man. And yet again, and what's even worse here is Davies is not only defensive, but is like a player like João Cancelo, and more Davies. I'd say Davies is better than João Cancelo in the offense, because this guy, he has the pace, his dribbling, his passing, defending, physicality. He has all of that to just zoom past on the wing here. And then What was I gonna say? Yeah, Davies, man, he sprints back. He gets here. He's like the Flash, man. He gets here in 1 second. And his ability to kind of go on those flanks is even like his ability on the flanks, like to get around in those counterattacks, is worse. Like it's better than Hakimi and Nuno Menj counterattacks on the wing. You get what I mean? So you know how Hakimi and Nuno Mendes always go on those runs on the flanks on the wings. Like Davies is honestly probably the best player to do that for his position. He has the defensive ability, the attacking ability, the pace, the physicality. He has all of that. He has everything he needs to be one of those types of kind of counter attack flank type of players. And same with João Cancelo. João Cancelo very very good today, being high up in our half and to kind of cross it in. But yeah, Davies, he crosses it in. Coleman open here and then it just goes under Donnarumma. Now, a lot of people on the internet are saying it is Donnarumma's fault for not saving that, but as a PSG fan, I'm gonna say, and not just as a PSG fan, you gotta say this as any football fan. A taller players are it's gonna be harder for taller players to get on the ground faster. That's one thing. Second thing is yes, Donnarumma could have saved that. I think maybe like if it was Courtois or something, Courtois would have blocked it. But I mean, you never know. Courtois, it's really about you really never know. It's either he saves that, it's either a goalkeeper saves that or he doesn't. As I mentioned, it's harder for tall players to get on the ground fast. Secondly, is Nuno Mendes was not marking him. Nuno Mendes was in fact marking. I think Choupo-Moting was still in this game. He was not subbed off. I think he was marking Choupo-Moting, and and that is not Nuno Mendes' fault either because Marquinhos was kind of pressuring up on Davies like in this area here, leaving Ramos having to come more over here and mark whoever is here. I think it was Musiala, leaving Nuno Mendes also having to come in more into the middle of the box as a kind of the other center back, and then this whole area of the pitch all open. Coleman open, and who do you see walking nicely? He sees, oh, this guy Coleman, he's open. Let me just let him be open. Who do you see like acting like that? Carlos freaking Soler. Man, this guy walks all game so slow. If he had only dropped back a bit more, he can clearly see. He was literally watching Coleman. I swear to God, he was watching Coleman. He can literally, if all he did was drop back, see that Coleman, he literally saw that Coleman had all this free space here because Nuno Mendes went more into the middle of the box to mark these players here. He saw that Coleman was open. If only he had dropped and back and kind of marked him, we were good. But Davies, he crosses it in. As I said, no one marking Coleman. And then honestly, Coleman very very good. One like very very good touch that went right under Donnarumma. And as I said, you could kind of say it's Donnarumma's fault, but at the same time, it's really like not 50. It's really like I don't know. It's just about the moments. Courtois, he's conceded these types of goals as well. Any goalkeeper could concede that goal. So I'm not gonna blame it on Donnarumma. As I said, a taller goalkeepers, it's harder for them to get on the ground fast as well. Very good first time touch by Coleman to get into the back of the net, low on the ground as well. Very very smooth and very nice. And then yeah, as I said, no one marking him. That is not Nuno Mendes' fault either. As a PSG fan, I'm not gonna blame it 100% on Donnarumma. I'm gonna blame that more on Carlos Soler. In fact, as a PSG fan, you can clearly tell he's a walking. He can see Coleman open in that space. He's walking. But now we're going more into the second half. Where now we're in the 70th minute. That goal was in the 53rd minute. So now we're in the 60th minute, the 65th minute, and our savior, the legend, Kylian Mbappe, gets subbed on. And guys, this is where all the criticism, all the social media hate starts to happen. Mbappe is PSG are nothing without Mbappe. Like I swear, man. Now, as a PSG fan, I will kind of agree. As I said, there's some part of me kind of agreeing with this, but at the same time not agreeing with this. I will agree to some part of that Mbappe changed the game. Now, the reason Mbappe changed the game, it wasn't only for his footballing ability, yeah, and all that stuff, but it scared Bayern Munich to drop back I don't think even without Mbappe, maybe they would have dropped back because they got the goal. They said, "Oh, now let's just sit back." But I think Mbappe was also a huge factor to them, also adding on top of the goal to drop back more and defend, just play sit back for the rest of the game. And due to Bayern now being the drop back team instead of PSG from that first half, we had such a better attack. And as I said, it wasn't just Mbappe. It wasn't just Mbappe. I think yes, Mbappe he changed the way PSG, but he brought some spirit to the team, and that was because he scared off Bayern, made Bayern sit back a bit more in their own half, which allowed us to have a better attack, be more have more press, be more in the attacking half because of how a low depth Bayern played due to Mbappe kind of scaring them off, plus them scoring a goal. So now they want to sit back and kind of wait it out for the rest of the game. So that's one part. That's one part of me kind of answering the social media question, kind of saying it wasn't all Mbappe who kind of changed the game. There were yes, he kind of scared off Bayern to make them sit back, but at the same time, and yes, he brought some skills. He scored two offside goals, um, and those both of those goals, man. Nuno Mendes, the Nuno Mendes effect, man. Nuno Mendes literally turned into prime Carlos or not Carlos Alberto, prime Roberto Carlos, man. Nuno Mendes after Mbappe got subbed off. You have Neymar yet again dropping back, I believe. I think it was Neymar. It's Nuno Mendes who goes down this wing, and then it's Neymar who sends the through ball and his kneecap, man. Nuno Mendes' kneecap offside, unfortunately. But yet again, man, as I'm telling you, this counter attack these on the wings, on the flanks by Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, deadly, man, deadly. So Nuno Mendes making that sprint, goes into the top of the box over here, passes it to Mbappe, Mbappe getting him back in the net. But as I said, Nuno Mendes' kneecap was literally offside, so very unlucky there. And then there was a part where after Mbappe got subbed off, Nuno Mendes, man, yet again he does like a through ball type. He does a bridge where he shoots it around the player and he goes the other way around and he sprints past João Cancelo and Pavard. Brilliant pace by Nuno Mendes to then get that foul and then set play from here to kind of build up with a better higher attack in our Paris Saint-Germain team. There's also another opportunity, another chance, another moment. Where Nuno Mendes is I think no, it wasn't João Cancelo. I think it was Serge Gnabry and Pavard, who were on him. And then, man, this guy, he does like some sort of heel to. It looks like he does some sort of heel to heel or like a heel to heel or like a La Croqueta type thing, going around between them, goes out, passes into the box, and then it's Messi, and Messi hits yet again Benjamin Pavard. It hits his like kneecap and it goes barely out wide, man. And that was just very sad to see as well. There was another opportunity yet again, as I said, Jan Sommer, what a player, and against Mbappe as well. Mbappe is on that through run and he tries to go near post. Jan Sommer saves it, rebounds back out up to the like top of the box. Neymar's there. Neymar turns back, hits yet again Benjamin Pavard, the deadly defender today. And then Mbappe or Neymar hits it again. It's rebounded. Sommer saves it, but it rebounds off him. But since Mbappe was offside, walking out here initially from that first chance, he comes back, scores, and that one was clearly offside. So I'm not gonna say, oh, Mbappe scored two offside goals. The fact that he scored two goals, but we're both offside, I'm not gonna say, oh, that's the Mbappe effect. I'm gonna say the first one that initially when he hit Jan Sommer, really well done by Jan Sommer. I think Mbappe should have done, I don't know, what should he have done? Could have done something to get it around him, or shot it like more top post, top netting. That was one thing. Second thing is Mbappe was offside on that second goal. I'm not gonna count that as you can't say, oh, Mbappe effect, he scored, it was offside, but either way he scored. None of the other PSG players scored or got the ball in the back of the net. That does not count because I don't know what that was. I will say though, that the Nuno Mendes link up with Mbappe, that run that Nuno Mendes had, that one is where I'll say Mbappe, well done, positioning well from Mbappe. But a lot of that run also made from Nuno Mendes. Brilliant by Nuno Mendes to get there. And then yet again, Mbappe well positioned to get into the back of the net. Unfortunately, Nuno Mendes' kneecap offside. And then where am I? Where am I? Yeah, I think what you could say here, another thing you can say about Neymar Messi not having the best game either is one, dropping back, leaving us with no attack. Two is when Mbappe came off. Yet again, I think Neymar and Messi just playing so drop back that it did bring some spirit to Messi and Neymar. But either way, like our midfield was so non-existent that Messi and Neymar would still drop back, leaving Mbappe, making Mbappe look it not look like Mbappe had brilliant positioning in the box to get in behind and stuff, but then it would make us like Mbappe. There was a moment where Mbappe was like he cut inside, passed it to the middle of the box, but like Neymar, Messi, Verratti, like a lot of our players were still out here trying to get there first, and the reason was due to Messi and Neymar. They weren't high enough because they had to drop back because our midfield is non-existent. So just terrible game. And then yeah, Benjamin Pavard just tackle on a foul on Lionel Messi. So that tackle, that foul is huge for Pavard, or for Bayern Munich, because I think for PSG as well. I think it's huge because he really did. He literally bullied Neymar. He bullied our whole team today in the back line. Um, so yeah, what predictions can so overall very very bad game until Mbappe came off. Now as I said, it's not PSG are not nothing without Mbappe. It's just that I think it was just also a coincidence that Mbappe got subbed on after the first goal. You can make a prediction, like you can observe, like would have Bayern Munich, even if Mbappe would have got didn't get subbed on, would Bayern Munich have still dropped back that much if Mbappe didn't get subbed on? And the reason we did so good after the 60th minute, after the 55th minute, was due to Bayern being so dropped back. It allowed us to play higher up, which made us have a better attack. And yet again, is our is Bayern's drop back due to being scared of Mbappe, so they drop back to stop Mbappe? Was that their anti Mbappe plan, or was it due to them scoring a goal? And they're just gonna sit back and like play out the rest of the game. You get what I mean? So you got to think of those two. As I said, yes, Mbappe also brought a lot to the table. He kind of gave some spirit, attacking spirit to the rest of the team, um, and of course positioned well and stuff. But at the same time, I guess you can say a lot of that was also a lot of the team being better was also due to Bayern's drop back as well. And you can also say Bayern's drop back was due to Mbappe, the anti-Mbappe tactic, the anti-Mbappe plan. So you can then say again, Mbappe was the effect of PSG's game doing better in that second half. But yeah, overall, man, yeah, very very disappointing. We will be doing a podcast next Friday or next Thursday with Gareth yet again. So we'll talk more about the game there and make more predictions on the future. Actually, we'll make a prediction yet again. Let's go ahead talk about these news here. Kind of react to, as I said, the social media. I just wanted to note this out. This is very very special. So back in 2020, when Bayern and you already know Bayern and what is it? Bayern and Barcelona 8-2, guys. Bayern and Barca 8-2. You already know back here in the first half when it was 1-1, Davies asked Messi, "Oh, can I switch your jersey?" And this was back when Messi was at Barcelona, of course. And then Bayern won 8-2, and Messi did not give his jersey. And of course, when you lose 8-2, you're probably not in the best mood to swap jerseys and stuff. So he didn't. Yet again, now today, Bayern and PSG play. Bayern, Davies and Messi link or match up again, and Messi willing to swap his jersey with Davies. So Davies, man, he's come a long way, and honestly, he's come a long way to become honestly probably the best left back in the world currently. João Cancelo also there as well. Maybe you can say João Cancelo is the best fullback because this guy, he can play left back, he can also play right back. So I think Davies is more of a left-sided player. But yeah, just pretty nice to see this, that he finally got that Messi swap. Galtier, obviously there's disappointments, but we all know nobody would qualify or be eliminated tonight. When we had no depth, Bayern pressed us, and yeah, I mentioned that. Of course, we had literally no depth in their attack. Um, or no, what? Yeah, we had no depth in the attack. We played so defensive that they would be so much in our half that we would be attacked, that they would press us. I suspect that if we played like that, without depth, without vertically, we would have a very difficult first half. And you can clearly say, I just mentioned that everyone noticed that as well. Even Galtier did. So hopefully in the next leg, we come in with more pressure. And hopefully in the next leg as well, Mbappe starts. I think a reason why I think if Mbappe plays the full 90 minutes, you can see a very different game from what we saw today, because I think Bayern will play much differently with Mbappe playing the full 90 minutes. They'll probably play much more defensively and everything. So, and because of them playing defensively, it will allow us to play more higher up on the pitch, which allows for more attacks, more shots on net. So that is Galtier. Nagelsmann, on the other hand, the Bayern coach, Mbappe can change any match by himself. PSG woke up when he was subbed on. They're better with Mbappe than without him. I will kind of agree with that. But in the second leg, we'll have good ideas to counter him, and we can hurt them in attack. So, as I said, there's some part of me kind of agreeing that Mbappe changed the game by himself. They were better with Mbappe than without him. PSG woke up as well. But yet again, Nagelsmann is not say. I guess he's kind of saying this in a respectful way about Mbappe being so good, but at the same time, as I said, there's two sides to this. Did Bayern drop back, allowing PSG to have a higher attack due to them scoring a goal, or was it because of Mbappe? Was this the anti-Mbappe plan? So it's both ways. It goes both ways. It really goes both ways, and I think it's a bit of both here as well. Overall, yeah, I'm not gonna say PSG are nothing without Mbappe, but Mbappe changed the game. It was also like I wonder what would have happened if Mbappe wasn't subbed on directly after that first goal. I wanted to know, would have Bayern's dropped back so much that it would have allowed PSG to be higher and get some more attacks like we did in the second half. Get what I mean? So Jacques Cancelo, nothing is decided. PSG is a team that has a lot of individual talent, and I definitely agree with this. We have Neymar, Messi, Nuno Mendes, Hakimi, Danilo Pereira, Marco Verratti. I think we need to be more as a team, like Madrid, man. We need to be like Madrid, like Man City, like Man United, like Barcelona. We need that type of tiki taka, man. We can't play individual football. Who do things that other players cannot. We have to play as a team to win again in Munich and qualify. So yeah. And Bayern, man, I think they're very good as a team, not only individually but as a team. Bayern are a team that could show that. PSG, on the other hand, more individual talent rather than team talent. Yeah, Kingsley Coman scoring against the Parc des Princes, scoring at the Parc des Princes is a childhood dream. It was a special moment. It's the club where I grew up, the city where I was born. So I didn't want to celebrate here in front of the fans. And yes, guys, if you did not know, Kingsley Coman was actually he was in the PSG academy since 9 years old. So this is his home. He didn't play much with PSG though in his professional career. As you can see, like here, he comes 1 year and then he goes to the second academy. Yeah, and then he goes back to the academy. So yeah, he practically didn't really play for PSG. He made like a three appear. He was in the academy and made like 3 appearances for the main team, and then we sold him to Juve. And then he went to Bayern, and then yeah, the rest is history for him. The rest is his career. So yeah, pretty respectful that he kind of didn't celebrate. Shout out to Coleman. Yeah, honestly, we made Coleman's career. We made a lot of. There's a lot of world class players that actually came from our academy. Coleman is one. What's his name? Nkunku, Christopher Nkunku. So yeah, that is that. Yet again, Nagelsmann on PSG's chances in the last 15 minutes. Of course, it's not easy, but you can see what happens when Mbappe comes on. Benjamin Pavard played well. It's a pity he got the second yellow card, but Upamecano and Matthias de Ligt were also great today. Yeah, I very much agree. Coleman tracked back and defended very well, and as I said, the passion that Coleman has, crazy, and he had that in the World Cup final as well. Arsene Wenger on BN Sports 1. PSG are defending well. They lack someone to help Verratti control the tempo of the game. And yes, Verratti had a disaster class today, but that's also due. I think the midfield would be so much better if PSG had a better midfield. If only like if we had a way, as I said, Marquinhos in that CDM. If we had two CDMs, it would allow us to kind of lock down the midfield easier, with more ease for Verratti, leaving Verratti have a more free role to be more in the attack, to have the attacking the vision for the passing, to create the attacking chances. So that is why I think another reason Messi or Verratti didn't do well today is not only because he was tripping on himself and everything, but the reason that he couldn't go up a lot is because he was helping the midfield defend. Messi and Neymar have been good on the ball, but need a target person in front of them. Exactly, man. I literally mentioned it. In front of them to keep the Bayern defenders busy when they have the ball. And yet again, as I said. So, yeah, that's going to end off today's episode. If you guys enjoyed it. Actually, before we end it off, let's just yet again recap. Or not recap, but kind of make a prediction. So overall, guys, yeah, as I said, our midfield is a disaster. The tactic was great. It just didn't. It just needed to be. Now the players had to kind of I don't know, play their role in the tactic. That's what I have to say. So I'm hoping on the next game in Bayern in Munchen that we play a actual 3-back instead of a 4-back, and then tactically switching to a 3-back. I think a 3-back to start off. Sergio Ramos, Kimpembe, and Danilo Pereira as that central CDM. Danilo Pereira, I want him as that central CDM. Sergio Ramos at that left center back, and Kimpembe at the right center back. In the midfield, in the two central midfield positions, I want to run a bit of a Danilo Pereira. Oh, no, I said Danilo Pereira at central center back. I want to run Marquinhos and Marco Verratti in those two center mid / CDM positions. And even though I'm saying CDM, Marquinhos in that CDM will kind of like defendingly, like he will be defensive, hold that CDM area. But then that will then allow Marco Verratti to go up more and be that creative player that he usually is. Be that world class, that the player that the Marco Verratti, the prime Verratti, that he can be himself. Be that creative player on the ball, with the passes, with the dribbling. So that is good. Those are two center mids, and then it's gonna be Nuno Mendes on the left yet again, like usual. Hakimi on the right. In the central attacking mid, we're gonna have Lionel Messi, and then as our two strikers, Neymar on the left, Mbappe on the right, or vice versa, whatever you want to do. You can also say a 3-4-2-1. So it's gonna be Nuno Mendes, Marquinhos at the two CDMs or two central midfielders. Nuno Mendes left mid, Hakimi right mid. Neymar kind of that lamb slash left wing / left forward. Same with Messi, but on the right, and then Mbappe striker. So instead of two strikers, one striker, but then two kind of wingers, like narrow wingers behind the striker. You get what I mean? So that's gonna work out. As I said, Benjamin Pavard, man, he literally bullied our attack. I mean, did we really have an attack until Mbappe came on? No, but that was due to Messi and Neymar dropping back due to us also having no midfield. So Benjamin Pavard really destroyed us. Same with Upamecano and De Ligt. I think this really is gonna hurt Bayern. Hopefully, what I mean, who can they run? What can they run? I'm gonna guess that they'll probably run. I'm gonna stick with them. Probably staying with Davies or Choupo-Moting up top. I mean, they're probably gonna stick with Choupo-Moting up top. And then they'll probably run Sané and Musiala, or Coleman and Musiala. I think Coleman with the passion, he has more of that passion. Yet again, yeah, he did start to get today as well. I think they're gonna start Davies and Jacques Cancelo yet again. Goretzka, Kimmich, like usual. I think they're just gonna start them. I think they're gonna run yet then De Ligt, Upamecano, and then probably like a Gravenberch. Yeah, I can see like a Gravenberch, unless they. Yeah, I think like a Gravenberch in kind of that central area, kind of as that CDM. So you can kind of say like a 4-back, but then Gravenberch kind of drops between defenders and plays more defensively instead. So I think I can see that. I mean, they also have Thomas Muller as well, so maybe like Kimmich right back, like right central back, and then I don't know, Kimmich in or Muller in that midfield. But I really think that this red card on Pavard could really change the way that Bayern will play next game. And as I said, we have to see. I think a 90-minute Mbappe is way different. We can kind of get more press, get more creativity, get more attack from initially from the start of the game rather than after 60 minutes. And as I said, I just mentioned what I'm hoping we run. Yeah, hopefully we run the formation I mentioned. So Mbappe for Warren Emery, and then Kimpembe for Solar in that three back 3-4-2, 3-4-2, 3-4-1-2, or 3-4-2-1, either positions. But yeah, that's gonna end off today's podcast. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell. Next podcast will probably be on Friday. We'll talk about the AC Milan Spurs game that occurred today. I just wanted to talk about PSG today only. I'll kind of respond, and then we'll talk about tomorrow's games as well. We got Arsenal City tomorrow as well. We'll talk about that on the next podcast as well, either Friday or Saturday. I think maybe Saturday, and then another episode on Monday, which is actually my birthday, guys. Yeah, my birthday. 35 subscribers as well. The last podcast we had 34. As I said, thank you for so much for the support. I love doing these podcasts because not only, even if you don't like football, you get to kind of know what's going on in the football world. So you get to hear about what's going on in football. You get to hear my thoughts on football. You get to hear my thoughts on football, and at the same time, I want you guys to let me know what you guys think about not only my thoughts, but on just all of the football matches I talk about as well. And then maybe I can respond to you. Kind of, we can talk about like overall like what happened in football. Like this is the point of football, not just football, but of podcast, to kind of see these debates, spread out your opinion, share your voice, guys. But yeah, that's gonna end off the video, the podcast today. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell. But for now, stay positive, stay flow, and I'll see you later. It's ici c'est Paris. Allez Paris. No matter what, I'll support Paris. But yeah, see ya. Have a good one.